What's good, everybody? Hope you are having a wonderful week so far. Before we start on the podcast, if you do listen to this on a regular basis or you're new to this, I'd love it if you can go follow us on Instagram. It's at the Will Clarke podcast, or whatever platform you're on. Hit subscribe and give us a comment and a review. It does mean that the podcast just can keep growing. Which is the goal for this. The bigger this gets, the better the guests I get for you guys, really. So I would love it if you could do that for me. Many thanks. Anyway, this week on the podcast, Malou, she has had a huge success with her most recent record, Forever, with Diplo, HUGEL, and Una. She's had records with Ben Bomber, Nils Hoffman, Plastic. Her voice is just absolutely angelic. She's also an amazing human being. We talk about all things singer-songwriter, how deals are set up, how she feels deals should be set up. We talk about how the Forever record with Diplo, HUGEL, and Una came around. We talk about fashion. She's very much into fashion and has started her own fashion line. So we talk about that, and yeah, we just have a just general chit chat about the music industry. I've known Malou probably for 8 months ish. I think we first met in IMS, probably nearly a year ago. So it was great to have her on. I really do love her voice, and I can't wait to get in a studio session with her. So without further ado, Malou. And we're live.
Oh my God.
That was so random.
What was that? That was so weird.
How's it
Okay.
going?
Good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
I'm back in Hamburg for 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah. And the
How's
sun is shining,
I
which
know.
is amazing.
I went for a run this morning and went to the gym, and it feels like it's the first time it's like I'm in the
Yeah.
UK and it's like really nice out. I was like
Yeah.
talking to my girlfriend, like running along, when I was like, this
Yeah.
is absolutely beautiful outside today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
How's the music scene in Hamburg? I've never been.
You've never been to
No,
Hamburg?
never.
No way.
Mm.
What? Oh my
Mm.
God, you definitely need to visit.
I know.
It's a beautiful city. But yeah, music wise, I mean there's of course some stuff going on, but I wouldn't suggest moving to Hamburg if you want to do music. I mean, there are definitely better spots than Hamburg. But to be fair, when it comes to advertisement and movies and stuff like that, I mean, especially advertisement,
Mm.
there are like a lot of agencies you could talk to and just do stuff for. So that's nice.
That's cool.
Mm.
Do you do much on that tip?
Yeah, so I did a lot for advertisement and movies and stuff. Not anymore that much, but I would love to focus on that more again.
Make some money.
Yeah, I just wanted to say. I mean, that wasn't as subtitled as I wanted it, but I mean, obviously you do make a lot of money with that, but also it's just very nice to do every now and then because it's just different, like looking at a screen and then trying to find the right music to it, you know? It's just work in a different way, which is just very refreshing.
Mm.
But also, I actually did kind of an education for a few years when I was still in school for like as a voice actor. I don't know, is it a
Mm-hmm.
voice actor? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would love to. I mean, I'm signed to an agency, but yeah, I would love to do more with that as well.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because I think
Hmm.
most people I speak to that are kind of in the world that you and I are in like the more electronic world, I feel like everyone's dream is to write music for adverts and write music for film. just
Yeah,
it just seems to be that thing, and it always seems to be such a far reach to like even get to that.
definitely.
Like I know so many
It's a,
people.
yeah, it's just, I mean, of course it's music, but it's still hard to get into.
Yeah,
It's the same with music, but just, yeah, it's just another little world you have to like try to get into, and it's not that easy. But when you're in, then it's very, very nice.
it's the same as what we're in there, right?
Yeah,
And I
exactly,
and
exactly.
I think it's as people of where we're at, it's kind of, although it's hard for us and it's been hard for all of us to get to where we're at.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah, for
once
sure.
you're in it, you see it feels slightly easier
Oh
once
yeah, for
you're in
sure.
it.
I mean, obviously, then you have to deal with other annoying stuff, but that's then at a
Yeah.
different level.
I know that's the
Yeah.
thing. I had a really long conversation with one of my really good friends. He's a DJ. His artist name is a Vision, like
Hmm.
amazing producer. And we were talking about that last night. Is that it's never easy. Like it's
No,
there's nothing that's like, no process is easy
no, no,
in
for
and
sure.
maybe that's life. Maybe that's just the facts of running your business. But do you feel the same?
Oh yeah, totally. It's just for example, I reached a point where I was like, I mean, I started so early and
Mm,
did a lot of sessions since like 11 years.
yeah.
But then at one point I was very happy because I reached a level where I don't have to accept every session and can s- say no at like one point, and it's just nice to choose what you want to do, but at the same time I reached that level. But then I was like, oh well, now I'm with all the bigger artists and there's just so much business
Yeah.
shit going on, and there's just at a different level so many difficulties. And yeah, it's I think it will always be like that, but it's also super interesting.
I think that's it, right? The bigger the artist you are or you work with, the more kind of people, the more cooks in the kitchen, put it that way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
everyone wants to put their 2 cents in. You've got major record labels, you've got A&Rs, you've got managers, you've got more agents, you've got tours, you've got all of these things that people are releasing music around.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And there also a lot of the bigger, like the way bigger guys are doing multiple sessions a week. Like they've got so much music opportunities to put out. It's like then them just you do a session and then maybe it might not come out for a year and a half.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
But
it's
then I love it though, because sometimes sometimes you write a song and you totally forget about it, and then
mm.
at one point you get this email saying, "Hey, by the way, you remember this song? It's coming out." I'm like, "Oh shit, really? That's nice." No, it's a nice surprise.
Yeah, definitely. How do you like doing sessions? Like what is your like ideal perfect session?
I mean, first of all, I love doing sessions, but first of all, I couldn't do a session every single day
Mm.
for like weeks. I love it when I haven't had a session in, let's say, a week or two, and then going into the session with completely new ideas and melodies and stuff like that. But for me, the ideal session would be to like where you just go with the flow. For example, I just came back from Ibiza,
Mm.
and I don't know, you probably know Tom Starr.
Yeah, yeah.
He's having he's having the villa there that he rented, I think, and it's just inviting many musicians and artists into this villa. Now staying there for 1 week, and it's just so amazing because obviously you got good weather, it's warm, but then you just sit down, drink a coffee, and then when you feel it, you just do it, you know?
Mm.
It's not in a way of like, okay, 10 o'clock, you need to be in the studio and then you need to be creative. I mean, I can do that for sure. I mean, now since I did it a lot of times, that's not the problem at all. But it's just I just love it when I got the idea and then can just yeah, basically produce it with the producer, you know.
I think that's the difference, right? Is like sometimes when you're going into sessions, I do it all the time. And it's like the session starts at 11 and then you're like, okay, well, we've only got like 5-6 hours to write something. And
Yeah.
it's just not how art is formed. It is
No, yeah.
sometimes forced
I
art
mean,
works perfectly, right?
yeah, exactly. Because like the outcome will definitely be different because when you know, okay, we only got 4 hours, then it's just a
Mm.
different, like I'm focused right away writing this, but yeah, obviously the outcome would be so different from where it's like, okay, let's just start whenever we want to.
Do you like writing camps?
I mean, you mean like a typical writing camp? Like a
Yeah.
typical
So,
writing
so
camp?
explain for anybody that's listening that doesn't know what a typical writing camp is. Please explain it.
I mean, that's just my opinion, but for me, a typical writing camp would be yeah, obviously you get invited from a label, publisher, whatever, and yeah, you just you arrive there, stay in the hotel. Then the next morning, you wake up at 9, at 10, the writing camp starts. Everyone is meeting in a room. Um, kind of getting to know each other for like 10 minutes. And then like one of the label or publishing guys is talking, saying something like, welcome, blah, 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 here are the groups. And then you just have those groups. Then you go like with your group, let's say it's one producer, one writer, one artist, whatever. Can be like 3 to 5 people. Five for me would be, I mean, I would do it, of course, but I wouldn't prefer it. Um, yeah, and then you just go into the room and like be creative. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, m most of the writing camps, like you have it from 10 to maybe one or two, and then a little pause, and then from three to open end. Then you have
Mm.
like 2 sessions within a day with 2 different groups, which is nice, can be super cool and refreshing in a way, but also it's just too much because then you do it for 5 days
Yeah.
and that's like I then my yeah creativity is kind of gone, let's say the last day. It's kind of like factory work, you know, you just do a lot of songs. And also I feel like a lot of times those writing camps are not that as well organized because you get into your group and then everyone's like, okay, so who are we writing for?
Yeah.
Like, well, it shouldn't like it's supposed to be like that. You should have an artist who wants to write for himself. For example, sometimes there are artists in the room and they're like, no, I don't want to write for my own project. And then
Mm.
you just need to write for pitch and then I mean, obviously, pitch is a bit harder, yeah, I mean, obviously, it's hard that people will take the song because you just write for it, but don't know if the artist really wants it like
So
this.
explain
Then,
let's explain what pitch is when
oh
writing
God.
for pitch. I think there's some
Yeah,
people
true.
on here that don't know what writing for pitch is.
Yeah.
So let's
Okay,
explain that.
so I mean, there are so many different ways you could like have a session. A lot of times you get either you get a brief, so a label or a publisher will send over a sheet with informations from artists who are looking for songs
Mm-hmm.
and like what kind of style, what BPM, like everything is explained. Sometimes you also say like, hell, hey, well, there's this artist I really wanted to write for. He said he wants to have songs, or she said she wants to have songs, and then you just listen to those songs and then try to do something similar or something new because you obviously don't know what the artist wants. And then once you've done a song, they would play it back to the artist, and the artist can decide if he or she wants to work on it or not. And I mean, sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't work. Um, and yeah, it's just, I mean, obviously it's much more easier to do a session when the artist is right there, because
Yeah.
then the artist can say right away, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, can be involved in the whole process. It's just, yeah,
I
the
really,
way I prefer.
I really struggle with pitch writing.
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah,
I don't often do it. I've been tricked into doing it a couple times.
yeah, same. I mean, still, it's a
And it's,
never-ending story.
yeah, and it's like, oh, I remember, I can't say who it is, but I remember it was actually last year during Miami Music Week, and I got asked to do a session, and it was actually a really good session. But I got asked to
Yeah,
do a session for a bigger artist, and
nice.
me going in expecting, like, if I'm bringing a studio of people together, I'm gonna be there so I can direct the way.
Yeah,
And I went in there and I was like, oh, so when's thingy coming in? Like, when
yeah, yeah.
can?
When's the artist coming in?
Oh, they're not. I'm like, what? Like,
No.
like I don't need I don't need to write music for this person so much.
But wait, the question is now, was it communicated? Because I mean, that's obviously most of the times the lack of communication, because I mean, if it's for a bigger artist, if it's for a very big artist, they definitely need to be more clear on like, is the artist gonna be there? What does he want or she and stuff like that. I mean,
It was more of like, do you want to do a session with this artist? And I was like,
but that's like kind of, I mean, it sounds like the
they're
artist will be
coming.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was good. Like, well, what came out of it wasn't, but like, there was like a good.
Never taken so far.
No, I don't think I don't even know. I've not even heard what happened out of that session
Oh,
now.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's always most, I mean, so many sessions. We have so many sessions where the producer is not sending us the song. It's
mm,
insane. I don't want to know how many sessions I've done where I don't even got the song.
I was really bad at that. I used to like do that really badly, and what I've started doing now is at the end of every session, I will literally bounce what we've done
Yeah,
that day and literally just
yeah,
Dropbox it straight away
yeah,
to the singer or the songwriter or whoever I'm in with,
yeah.
just because it is really disrespectful. It's like,
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I do get it, because I feel like that, I mean, it also depends on if like for how long the producers have been in this game, like doing sessions and stuff. But
yeah,
I feel like that some people, they just don't want you to listen to it because it's not their perfect work,
yeah.
and they can do better. But it's not about that, because you just need the demo, because the idea is there, and then you can work with that, you can pitch it. It has nothing to do with how good you are as a producer, how good you can produce. It's really just the idea, so we have it to pitch.
I totally agree.
It's
I think that's also the thing that's bit me on the ass a couple times,
yeah,
where I wrote a record with somebody, and like that certain person is great, one of my really good friends now, but she has a member of her team, one of the publishers, that decided it was like, we wrote this record for album one. It's actually it's one of the album records,
hmm,
and I categorically told everybody, this is for my album. This isn't to be sent out to anyone, and
okay,
I can't have anyone hearing this record.
hmm. But
Um,
that's something different, obviously.
yeah, and then the publisher started pitching it behind the back, and
Behind the back, they didn't because once you pitch it, you need to tell the artist and the
yeah,
team.
and we got like an offer from like Drake and Anima.
Okay, well, that's not too bad. Oh,
Yeah, but I was like, no.
but you want to have it for your project. I get that.
I was like, no. It's like, this isn't what I want. So you shouldn't have pitched this. We knew this was a
Yeah,
great record, but now
yeah.
you've just kind of completely changed the whole situation. And now
Of course,
I
it's
look like the bad guy by saying
yeah,
no.
like saying no to yeah,
But
but no, I
that's
mean,
yeah, and that's
and
the
now what happened?
it came out. It came out on me
Oh,
on
it came
mine.
out.
Yeah, yeah. I said
Wait, which one was it? Can
I
I?
can't say.
Can,
I'll
oh my
tell you
God. Can
after.
you
I'll
cut
tell
it?
you after.
Can you cut it out?
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
But I think that's the thing is like and I don't know about you, but going into sessions now for me it is all about communication. Um
Definitely.
like
Even with splits and stuff like that, you need to
mhm,
be clear in the beginning. I mean, of course, a lot of stuff business-wise can be said
yeah.
after the song's written and after someone wants the song and stuff like that, but at least you should agree that you, for example, do equal splits or that you're having a problem with equal splits, or if it's because I've had artists, for example, I was just one of the writers, and then the artist would like sang it, but then someone took it and they said, well, you can't use her voice because we don't want, like, she doesn't want to be on it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, yeah, fine, they can re-record it. But then she said, well, I still want to have master.
Mm.
And that's something, I mean,
Where do you sit with that?
with what?
With people that don't want to sing on it but still want master?
No.
See, I
No,
disagree.
clearly it's it's I mean, obviously it depends.
Yeah,
For
of course.
example, I've for example just done I'm very, very proud. I'm very happy because I always wanted to be in that market. Um yeah, probably you know why, but in Radio Poland, I mean it's a big, big, big country
Yeah,
and there's just yeah, I mean I've just wrote a track for an artist there who's being number one airplay charts all the time.
cool.
And I just wrote his a single for him, and now he needs to re-record it in Polish.
Mm.
And I've done it with him and a producer in a session. And I was also involved in the production because I did the trumpets, I did like some stuff
Yeah,
and the chords and blah blah blah. So I definitely want to get master on that as
of
well.
course.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit for what I've done there. But let's say a writer, for example, really just wrote the words in a way,
Mm.
then I mean, of course, it's always nice to have master points, but if they seriously didn't have anything to do with the production, of course, it's also about the melodies. Um, but I feel like then, no, they shouldn't have master.
That's really interesting. I disagree completely, and I'm more like fighting for you guys as singer
I know.
songwriters
Yeah, yeah.
because
But if
I
it's just about the words, I'm not saying if it's about the melody, of course, then it's something different because that's part of the song, you know?
but I yeah I guess I've never experienced somebody write words and not the melody.
Well, sometimes it can be the case that Um, for example, somebody I've just had that actually last week. They were saying, "Hey Malu, everything's done, blah blah, but we definitely need help with some like with the words. Maybe you can rewrite parts of the lyrics or whatever." And then now I just did that, and if they would release it, I would never say I want to have master because,
I
in
agree with
my
that.
opinion, that's not fair.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Did you just tell them? You should just tell them to use Chat GPT. It's just the way forward.
No, it's not. Stop. No, no, I disagree.
No, I think it's like I think in this day and age, especially singer songwriters get fucked over royally.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Like publishing, there's no money in publishing unless you've had
Mm.
like number one hits. Like there's
I
there's
yeah, sorry.
there's none, and like yeah, feature fees are like whatever. Um, I generally think if, in my opinion, if there's a singer that's on the song, they should get a split. Um,
But
and
wait, but what do you mean with that? Like, if there's a singer should get a split, I mean, there's
if there's a
master and copyright.
yeah, if there's a singer songwriter, even if somebody, let's say for instance, you wrote a record for me and you didn't want to be the feature and you wanted somebody to re-sing it, I still think at you as the writer should get a split of the master, whether it's less
Yeah,
or whether it's less
but
or more.
it shouldn't be equal or whatever. It should definitely be less because, I mean, of course, the melodies have been written together and maybe part of the production, but in the end, I feel like that the producer, if it's, yeah, like the case you just talked about, for example, I wrote a song with you and now you need to re-record it, I would I wouldn't want to have a lot of master because that's just unfair. But also, I must say, I mean, I founded my publishing company about like 1.5 years ago,
Yeah.
and I mean, obviously, I did it for myself so I can sign myself and get like all the money and stuff. But yeah, I've never signed to a publishing company because for me it was just like, well, I'm doing all the work and like except to administrate it, there's, I mean. I have all my contacts in a way. Of course, it's always nice to have a publishing company as new contacts, but therefore they don't need to get like, I don't know, let's say, yeah, 30 or 40%.
Yeah.
And I mainly also founded my company to help others and to connect them right away to great people, not having like to experience what I like had to experience sometimes. And just to make it easier, it's like mostly newcomers, and I'm right now signing my first artist. He's 23, so he's very young, but he's a producer, singer, and songwriter. So I feel like um I try to see it in a very objective way because for a producer, like, I mean, yeah, writers should get maybe a little bit of the royalties, but the producer has like all the work. And same the other way around. So though, I mean, how do you see it that, for example, if a writer has written everything and now the producer is getting equal splits on the copyright?
Well, I just think that a lot of it generally takes two to tango, right?
Hmm?
And I think it takes two people to, or if there's a singer songwriter and a producer writer, right? Like if it's taken two people to write the record, like there's no
No.
each part is just as important.
Yeah, definitely. It should just be 50-50 in a way.
Agreed. But I think like, let's say for instance how I write, not previous to my album, but now with after my album, I like to write with people. So before it was
Hmm.
just me doing everything myself.
Hmm.
Um, maybe with like a top liner occasionally. Now it's me. I go in with a session with a top liner, write the song, come back to my studio and either finish it myself or have one of my mates come in and we both finish it together. Like that's like an equal, in my opinion, that's like three-way equal split, like because it's taken three people to get to a
Yeah,
finished
yeah.
product. I think
Yeah, for
it just
sure.
gets
But it depends. It really depends because obviously when you're in a session, then it should just be all equal. But
yeah.
I mean, there's so many different ways, and it really depends on the situation. For example, I mean, if I don't know, if it w wasn't made in a session and someone is, for example, taking a song you pitched and then you would redo every single thing besides one little note.
Yeah.
All equal would be a bit unfair.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, yeah, I feel like it's a very It's a
so
very controversial, it's
it
a
really
very
is,
complex.
and I think especially nowadays is like with the rate of what people get paid on streaming for writers, I think it it's so minimal you just can't survive off what you're earning, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that definitely needs to be changed. For example, I mean, of course, when an independent artist, when he's taking or she's taking a song, that and then the writer and the vocalist and everyone is asking for a fee, and you just can't pay it.
Yeah,
Of course, that's another story. But for example, let's say it's a major label or a label or publishing whatever who like and they are having a lot of money, why not also paying the writer?
I
I
know.
mean,
Yeah,
that's insane because like they've done it all together in a session and everyone's getting paid, hopefully, because that's not always the case. um and then the writer is going out with nothing, but that's what I try to do sometimes as well when I have um sometimes, I mean, not all the time, but sometimes I do 50-50 with the producer and share my vocal fee.
mm,
And then we sometimes also give something to the writer. I mean, it depends on, like, I mean, I've only done that with people I work very often with.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's so hard because there are so many different opinions, and I mean you can see it in whatever way. It's just, I mean, from a producer side it's so different than from a writer side, and it's, yeah, it's very, very, very complicated.
It is really, really strange.
Yeah.
And it's something I don't think it will ever be fixed. Realistically, I don't think there's going to be ever a
No,
set way.
how?
It's just business, right? It is what it is. It's
Exactly. And
part
then and yeah, it's like, and then you need to just fight for yourself in a way.
one hundred
I mean,
percent.
it sounds, it's, I mean, yeah, you've been in a session writing, having so much fun, and then it just goes to like, okay, I want the money. No, I want the money. No, obviously it's not like that, but it's just so strange. Like you've been creating this beautiful track, and then you just, in the end, sadly, you need to fight for yourself and need to stand in and try to get as much out of this as you can.
Have you ever had a situation where the deal that you get offered is so bad that you just are like, well, no, no one's having the record?
No. I I always, I mean, I now have a management since, I don't know, a year.
Yeah,
Um I'm so glad I have them. Oh my God, because I mean it's so funny because of course in the beginning when when you hear, like, listen to what my management is saying, I'm like, no, no one's gonna have it, blah blah blah. No, of course I'm not like that, but in the end it's
sure.
always like, I mean, yeah, I'm like getting angry or very like, how can they do this, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, okay, whatever, because in the end, uh, in the end, it should also still be about the song. I mean, it's sad, and it's really, really sad and disappointing if um if it's such a bad deal. And but I would never ever say no, you can't have the record. I would always find a way. For example, saying they don't they can't pay the vocal fee,
Mm,
they would need to get my vocals. Then I would be like, I mean, sometimes if I really love a song and I really feel it and I think it sounds beautiful, blah blah blah, then
mm,
I mean, in the end, it's still my choice if they if I wanna get less or not. But for example, let's say it's a song I don't really care about, then I would always go like, yeah, you can re-record it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And then we just take it from there. But
yeah.
I would never ever, uh, yeah, I would always try to find a way because it's just sad when business is taking over and leads to not releasing a beautiful song you've made.
Yeah. And I think we all have so much music that just doesn't ever come out anyway. So to let business get in the way of not releasing a record is sad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure it happens
Every
all
day.
the time.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had it a
Yeah,
few
but it's
times.
just, yeah, it's so crazy because I also feel like that labels and publishing companies, they don't really sometimes help with that. They're so egoistic and so, I mean, some of them, and they are the ones who could like make it better, you know?
I think I agree. I think we also have to look at them as not part of the creative side, and they're purely the business.
Hmm.
And that's the reason why
Yeah.
they're making way more money than all of us put together, is because that's what they do. And their point is not necessarily about creating great art, it's about making as much money as possible. um and it's like sync music, right?
Hmm.
It's going back to kind of what we were talking about at the beginning. It's like, if somebody came to us that was like, let's say for instance, I'm just using this for example, let's say for instance, Apple came to you and I and were like, we want to put this record you guys have made together on our record, on our advert, but we only
That's what they did with me. That's what they just did.
did they? That's amazing.
Yeah.
But like,
A nice example.
let's say for instance, like, they're like, but we only have a budget of $3,000, right? I'm just saying this, right?
No,
No, but I'm just saying this, okay? um
I would say no. Oh my God.
but the business side of it would be like, well, no, you're Apple, you're $1 trillion company, you can afford way more than that.
Yeah.
But as a new artist, let's say for instance, coming out, is going to go, yeah, you know what? Having a record on an Apple advert may take me to another level. It may make the record do really, really well, but publishers, labels will get in the way of that. So I don't know.
I mean, it also, I mean, it depends on, I mean, obviously, when it's about an advertisement, they would only just use a few seconds, which then would make the deal much better because, for example, using your song for like, let's say, I don't know, 8 to 10 seconds, getting 3,000 is good. I mean,
Is it though?
of course, it can be better, but it can always be better. And yeah, especially talking of like Apple and those big, big, big companies. Um, of course, they can pay much more, but yeah, obviously, if you're a newcomer and like a real newcomer, this would be a very good deal.
Mm.
And I mean, do you think that a publishing company would then be in the way?
Yeah, because I think they would.
Would they, but would they say no if they don't pay more?
I think so.
Have you had the experience before?
I've not had the experience quite so
Mm,
much. Like, so I I've had a situation where um I've done some work with a bigger company, and through like, yeah, what, and I know that there's been multiple people on a record that they've tried to sync, and the money wasn't fully there. If you know what I mean, it
mhm.
wasn't like crazy at all, and people were like, no, they can't have it.
Really?
Yeah, and
I've made different experiences because I mean I can already say it. I was with Warner at that time. I mean, no, what was I even with Warner yet? But anyways, the song was signed through Warner,
mm,
and it was one of my own songs back then, and
yeah,
they used it for a keynote presentation or whatever. Um, and Warner then said, "Well, that's not enough money. Let's try to get more." But they asked me,
yeah,
and I was like, "Yeah, let's try to get more." Whatever, I'm fine with that. And then they tried and did it. But they were always asking me. They were like, "Hey, Malu, are you okay with that?
Mm,
If not, we can also do it like that." So they've been asking me and wanted my confirmation if I'm fine, if I agree that this is not enough money and stuff like that. So they've been very transparent and just made the deal better. But I'm sure if I would have said, no, I don't want to risk it or whatever, they would have been
yeah,
like, okay, it's fine.
yeah. No, that's good. I think it's just more
Yeah.
so when there's more cooks in the kitchen. It's like more people. The more people on the record, the more hurdles you have to run over to kind of sign things off and get things okay. But just because there's multiple teams, there's multiple egos, there's all of that kind of mixed in.
Yeah, for sure, for sure,
Um,
for sure.
I really want to talk about a couple records. I want to talk about Forever. um,
Yes.
how did this come about?
Okay, here we go. I mean, now I can be totally honest, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I try not to look into, try not to, or better, I don't read about, I don't read in magazines or in uh, comments or whatever because I feel like so many people are writing different things without even knowing.
Mm,
But here's the true story. Um, it's been actually quite fun because Flo HUGEL, I've known him for many years because we've been in the same publishing, in the same management.
yeah.
Um, so I've known him for a while, and then I think like 2 years ago he was asking me if I'd be open to do that track with him and to sing because I didn't write it. It was Yuna who wrote it, and I was like, "Oh, great, yeah, for sure. I love that track, amazing. Let me record it." I recorded it. He loved it, and then um, one day he sent me a demo, and it was HUGEL, Alex 1, and Malou, and I was like, because back then, 2 years ago, I had no idea who Alex was. But I always have no idea
Alex,
who someone is.
Alex, who?
Alex 1, when, 1,
Alex, when? Should I know?
1, 1. The milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. And they're like, do you not know that?
No.
Well,
No.
you're worse than me.
I know who made the
You,
original of that, but I don't know
yeah,
who did that.
it's what is the letter in English? Oh my God. W
It's
A,
WANN. I
yeah.
just Spotified Alex One. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, anyways, I didn't know who he was. I was like, well, who's that? Is that just the producer or what's going on here? And then he was like, yeah, he's a DJ, producer, whatever. Um, and we're putting this out together. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, cool, great to know. And then they must have sent it to a few DJs already because one day I saw Diplo playing it in his Antarctic set.
Mm.
And then Diplo and I got in contact, and he wanted to get some top lines um, from me. And I said, yeah, cool, for sure. But I saw you playing the track, and at that time, Alex told me that he wouldn't uh, be on the record anymore because of whatever, like some reasons. And he couldn't stay on it. And I was telling Diplo and was like, well, Alex is no longer part of the record. Do you just want to join us? And he was like, sure, why not? And I was like, that was so easy. And then he was like, tell Hujel to message me. And I was like, yay, here we go. And then, yeah, I told Hujel, and then they all got in contact. And then Diplo jumped on the track. And then we did have some difficulties with the clearing. Um,
Why?
and well, before Diplo was on it, Yuna's team or whoever didn't want us to have
The
to
record.
have the record. And then I also told Diplo that. And then, um, and then, oh my God, it's so hard not to say too much. No, I feel like I'm just gonna tell the whole story and then we can cut out some stuff if it's, but in the end, it's actually super, super interesting. And I feel like there's nothing bad about just telling the truth. So,
people. The thing
um,
is like there's
I mean,
all
it's
these.
just the truth.
It's just the
Yeah.
facts, and at
Yeah.
the end of
I
the day,
mean,
everyone's winning now, so it's all good.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Yuna's team didn't want us to have the record. Then they saw Diplo was on it and they were like, well, we don't believe Malou sang it. They, I was like, I could send you screenshots. It's so funny of Diplo's and my conversation being like, Malu, they don't believe you sang it. Do you have proof? Can you send a video? And I'm like, well, I have a video of me singing it in the studio, but how does that help? Because you could still have changed it. How to prove
Wow.
that I sang the record. So I sent him the video of me singing, and they sent them the stems. But still, it's like, I mean, even if sending the stamps, I mean, how can you prove that, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, all of my people, I mean, I feel like I do have a quite unique voice, so you can tell. But it was just like, okay, that's weird. Now Diplo is on it, and they're like, yes, you can have it, but we don't believe you that you sang it. It's like, okay, well.
Wild.
And then in the end, we figured it out. They believed us. I don't know how. Don't ask me. I was like, at that point, I'm out of this conversation, guys. Please discuss that with my management. And then yeah, we got the clearance, but and here's the but, where I was also, I mean, I always try to see it in many different ways and try to be very objective and fair. But it's just like, I mean, after Diplo got on, um, Yuna's team said that they want Yuna to be featured.
Mm.
And you have no idea, it was such a fight. And that's what I mean with you have to fight for yourself.
Yeah.
It was like that I'm still the first featured artist and that I'm a main artist and stuff like that. It's just all about those little things that are super important.
Mm.
And it was, for me, I needed a minute because it was just like, how is that fair? Because everyone would think Yuna sang the song, but she didn't. She just wrote it, which is
Yeah.
amazing. It's an amazing track. She has an amazing voice. Like everything's fine, but it was just like, I sang the song and now it's featuring Malu and Yuna, but because she wrote it, but they said Yuna has to be featured, otherwise we can't use the track.
Yeah.
So we obviously had to do it. And yeah, it's just like, I mean, I'm super happy with the outcome. I can't complain, but the way and yeah, we got it released was yeah, roller coaster for sure.
It's absolutely wild because I like we hear about these things all the time, and I understand.
Hmm. Yeah, for
I
sure.
can genuinely sit back and go, okay, like Una is a big artist, right?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
like,
But everyone knows she wrote it. I mean, not
yeah,
everyone, but you know what I mean. She's so successful. She's so famous in a way. Everyone knows about that track, like in the industry.
yeah,
It's not a secret that she wrote this and that she's having a beautiful voice. And just like staying on the track because you wrote it is very, very rare, and I've never seen it that way before.
it's just also when Diplo gets in, people see money
Oh
signs.
yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
fact, and
They're
like
like ching ching ching.
exactly. And I think that's realistically that's where
Yeah,
that's the facts in all of this. Um,
yeah. And like it's I mean, and she's getting the copyright, so
yeah,
there's still money. I mean, she's I mean, yeah, it's just like I mean, maybe we have to cut that part out about the
not at all.
splits. But as far as I know, no idea if that's now the truth or not. So everyone, please, yeah, my apologies if it's wrong, but as far as I know, she I mean, she's keeping all the copyright,
Yeah.
like 100%.
Mm.
And oh my God, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not even because of the master. She's just there with her name with 100% copyright, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's just like, now I'm thinking a bit different, but back then, when all this happened, I was a bit like, oh, because I was proud in a way of like, I got Diplo in, and like having the idea, I mean, obviously it was a no-brainer
Yeah.
in that moment, but like I got Diplo in and made like this whole, it was a real teamwork from every single side. There
Of
was
course.
input,
Yeah.
and it was such a great teamwork in a way. And then not and nobody knows. And then Yuna
Yeah.
staying on it, and everyone would then also think that she sang it, and everyone's like, "What's Malou doing there?" or whatever. I don't know. But it's
I
just
wouldn't
like,
worry too much about that
no,
because
of course not. Yeah, of course. I
because
mean,
I
and now I do think different, but it's
yeah.
like back then it was a bit frustrating for a minute, you know?
I think the thing that I can relate to is that when you're so in it, right? Like it's so hard to kind of sit back and assess the situation like
Hmm.
neutrally because you're so in it, right? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
and do you have master?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, of course. Oh my God.
good, good.
Imagine not.
Could you imagine?
No, oh my God, no. Yeah, of course. I do have master, and
Great.
no, yeah, it's just, yeah, I said like for 1 minute, but then again, I mean, I've learned out of that actually. I'm even more than before, that I know it, and I know what I've done, and like, yeah, how actually great the teamwork was, and that's the most important. And I'm super happy with the outcome.
I think that's
And
it. I think
yeah,
like I've
you shouldn't worry too much in the end.
no, I agree, and I think for me, like experiences that I've experienced is like as long as I've done the right thing, as long as you feel like you've done the right
Yeah,
thing, and I can
definitely.
come out of this situation and go, yeah, you know what, like I've learned from this. I have done what I feel is the 100% the right thing to have done,
Yeah.
and whatever happens, maybe somebody else in a deal has kind of acted very differently. You don't have to work with that person again. You can
No,
you can
exactly.
you can
Yeah.
step away and go, no, we've done it.
Yeah, like
It is
I
what it
don't want
is.
you in the circle anymore. Like I know now how it works.
Exactly.
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wanted to know the story because there's always stories on the
Yeah, of
records that like
course. Of
that.
course.
Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
so I appreciate it. I want to talk to you about fashion side of things.
Oh, yes, let's go.
You make these amazing hats.
Oh,
Uh,
I do. Yeah, they're frozen at the moment though, because I mean the website and everything's frozen because I didn't have any time. But I wanna keep on doing this because before, sorry, you can ask me in a minute. But yeah, they will be available soon again. Because now I've been in a few magazines and stuff, and I love fashion so much. I was a freelancer stylist to earn money with the music,
oh, cool.
for very big companies as well. And um, yeah, now I'm in a magazine again. I will have the photo shoot soon in Faces. I don't know if you know the magazine.
No, what's that?
So it's a printed magazine. You can like buy it at every airport, like everywhere
Oh, cool.
worldwide. It's super cool. With an interview. We still need to shoot, but yeah, it's just like the combination of fashion with music is amazing. And once that's online and like wherever, I'm gonna concentrate again more on the caps.
Do you want to? So with your Smile hat brand, like, do you want to actually turn that into more of a fashion brand, or is it something else that you want
Definitely.
to do? Yeah,
It's definitely not merch in a way.
yeah,
It's more a different project. And Smile caps should, I mean, of course, they're caps, but definitely want to try to collaborate with different brands because I mean, what makes like the unique thing about Smile caps is the is the oh my God, what's the English word? Is the
Say it in,
um
what's it in German?
oh my God, no idea what it's in German either.
You just can't
It's
speak at
the
all.
oh my God. Uh the not the quality, it's the material.
Okay,
Material. Oh my God.
wow,
Hallelujah.
we got
That
there.
please, please cut that out. Oh my God, that why did that take so long? Okay, well, it's the material
Mm,
because it's Chanel
mm,
and it's very fluffy and I don't know when you have a look on my Instagram or just see me in person, I always have my fluffy shoes on.
yeah,
That has also something to do with 5 foot operations I had to do. So they're just very comfy and it's but I love the look as well. So having like collaborations with different brands where it's maybe just the little smiley and this Chanel material
yeah.
would just look so great. And I definitely want to do more with that and want to focus a bit more on that as soon as I can, kind of.
How do
Um,
you do that? How do you focus more time on it whilst still working in music?
I don't. I don't. It's I mean now I'm super grateful because I got so many requests. I mean I do sessions of course, but I'm also on tour with different artists, for
Mm,
example, European tour for a month or so.
yeah,
And then I what I actually love the most is that people send me instrumentals and I just sit here in my bed as I'm sitting here right now. Um, and then I just sit on my bed with my laptop with a little USB microphone that also has been already used many times as like final vocals.
yeah,
And then producers or artists I can't have a session with because they're far away or I'm far away, would just send me instrumentals and then I just do it alone in my bed with my USB microphone and just write on that. And that's something I love so much, but can't do at the moment because I'm traveling so much. Because
yeah.
it's now it's been changing a bit again, which is super nice because people just fly me in for a day. I love traveling, so I'm super fine with that. Just like flying in the morning to London and in the evening back just for a session, you know?
Mm,
It's
yeah,
just and I've got many requests. So as soon as I don't have like a little gap, I try to have a little gap, and then I would always sit down and do stuff on instrumentals people have sent me. And it's been, yeah, like this is the way right now I work, having a photo shooting, being on tour, then trying to have a gap of like 2 to 3 days writing on instrumentals, doing text stuff, which I hate, and then going back somewhere else to have writing sessions. So I don't see any gap for anything else at the
yeah,
moment. And it's just filling up, and I feel like I should just take the opportunities if I want to, and if I feel like, oh yeah, I would definitely be down to like fly to Paris for a little writing camp. Um, then I would do it. So, but actually, I got a friend. I talked with her about that yesterday, and she's doing marketing. So I told her that she can just have a little share of like the selling caps, and then she can just do
go.
it because
Yeah,
I just can't. I seriously can't. Yeah, but
I
it's
think.
still I need to figure it out still because that's it's not the ideal way at the moment.
Yeah, I think having somebody else is always helpful, that understands
Yeah, for
the
sure.
goal and the brand. I think it makes so much more sense
Yeah.
to grow businesses that way.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any brands or anything?
Not really. I've always tried stuff and just not done it that well. I think where
Yeah, it's just about then really focusing on it and not just for a few months. You
yeah
need to like stay on it, and that's the difficult part.
yeah I'm in the process of potentially starting like a fragrance brand.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
really into like fragrance, but that's with somebody else.
You
So
should also maybe do like
beard
oil
shit.
for your beard and stuff. That would be like with yeah, like mixed with fragrance
Yeah.
stuff. That would be cool.
So that's cool. Like I think it's just the issue with being uh, being creatives without sounding wanky is like we want to do everything. We want to do all the cool shit, right? It's like,
Definitely.
of course we want a fashion brand. Of course we
Of
want a
course.
fragrance brand. Of course we want to be models. Like, of course, like all of those cool shit, because it's like,
Yeah,
well, we're artists. Like that's what artists are supposed to do. But I'm very much now in this like mindset of like, I have to do it properly or just don't bother doing it, because it doesn't ever happen. Like you have to go
exactly.
all in on it. And if you're not all in on it, then it's just not worth it.
Yeah, but how can you also be like all in on it when the other side of creativity is just taking so much over and
You can't.
it's yeah.
You can't
No,
unless you
exactly,
have
exactly.
the right people.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
So
That's what you need to figure out
I think
basically.
it's a lot of it is finding the right people.
Yeah, definitely.
We've just done an hour. I think we should
Crazy.
wrap this one up. I know we could go on for hours, and I know we probably
Yeah,
haven't spoke
for
about a lot
real.
of things. But
So crazy.
how can people reach out to you? How can people follow you? All of the good stuff. If you haven't heard any of your music, how can you find
I
that?
mean, of course, on Spotify or any other streaming platforms, you just need to type in my name, Malou. And Instagram, same thing. I'm horrible with socials. I don't even have TikTok, the app on my phone. Someone else
Yes.
is doing it. Yeah, I hate it. It's horrible. I mean, I love doing stuff like we do right now, and I love
Yeah.
to yeah, like have a videographer in a room or whatever, but cutting it or dealing with all this social thing is not my thing at all. So yeah, follow me on Instagram. I got some stories here and there. That's basically it. And yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, mate. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Anytime. Peace. And that's a wrap. Big love to Mally for coming on. Thanks everybody for listening. Please hit subscribe. Please give us a comment. Please give us a review. Keep safe.